today we're going over the Delta Armory Freya. Now, this is my Delta Armory Freya. I purchased this back in October when they released the Generation 2, so this is a Gen 2. So there's a few things on here that don't come, and a few things that I use for filming, so you know, scope and mount don't come. So it's got my Cheap Chinesium T1 style red dot and my mount for my camera system on top of a Hydra mount, torch, grip and silencer. These are things that don't come with the gun. I'll post up a lovely picture of what it does come with when you purchase out of the box. These also do come, and all of the Delta Armories do come with a 120 to 130 round mid cap instead of a high cap, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Now, what you get from the Delta Armory Freya, and why I think it's probably the best beginner gun at the moment, or at least sort of your mid-tier bracket point. Now, the Freyas retail for $270 to just shy of £300, depending on what length you get. This here is the 13-inch. They also do a 14, a 10 and a 7-inch in olive drab green, same as my one, your FDE and your black. So there's a few different options. Externally it is full metal construction. It's really nicely CNC'd in skeletonized rail system and over the body, back and front. Really nice trademarks on there as well. This is a licensed product from a company called Ground Power in Slovakia. It's not a military style rifle, it's more like a civilian slash shooter, like competition shooter style rifle. The Delta Armory Freya also comes with their own sort of like design stock, adjustable from the back. Also has a button on the top for opening the back hinge to get to your batteries. It's a bit stiff sometimes. I fully recommend they don't open if you've got it on the sort of super closed. The hinge doesn't open. You do need it slightly further back to get it back in. Their own style pistol grip, which has a QD detachment at the bottom, so you can get into your motors and bits and pieces quickly. If you watched my T238 video, I'm pretty sure you get to see that being opened, so you can get into your motor if a connector has come loose or bits and pieces. If you're familiar with the Delta Armory products, this is the first one where the bolt catch opens properly using the paddle, but externally the quality is in all honesty better than the price that you're paying. I would put this up there with sort of the old school G&P's VFC build quality externally. I'm not sure if it's cerakoted or anodized, but the green is pretty tough going, doesn't seem to scratch. So I've used this since October for a good couple of game days, so that's, you know, it's holding up really well. Now internally, and this is where a bit of a backstory comes in. So back in October when I purchased this, I was the UK representative for Delta Armory. So Patrol Base, who are the distributors of Delta Armory into the UK, had a Delta Day. I purchased this one so it could be up in the gun range at Patrol Base, so that customers that come into the day and over the weekend, because it was a weekend event, could get their hands on a Freya before they bought one, and they could see if they liked it, if they wanted one. So this isn't completely stock anymore, though it is a side grade, not an upgrade. So over the course of the weekend, something around 12 or 13 bottles were fired through this gun in just 2 days. So the one thing that I have changed is the hot rubber. Hot rubbers tend to burn out after 20,000 shots. You should be replacing them. So I we didn't have any of the Delta Armory hot rubbers in stock, that are stock version, so I side graded to what's called a Trinity hot rubber from Delta Armory. Now, if you are buying them from Patrol Base and they've been shipped from the factory, they come with the Trinity hot rubber stock, so it's not anything new. If they are bought in from Slovakia, which is where Delta Armory is based, they come with a hot rubber designed for the EU market. So that difference is the EU, for the majority of countries, use 400 FPS full auto. So the hot rubbers are designed to be able to deal with that FPS and the heavier weight BBs that they use. The Trinity hot rubber is better for 350 FPS full auto and slightly lighter weight. When I say slightly lighter weight, I mean sort of your 2.8s up to your 3.2s instead of like your 3.6s and bits and pieces. So it has been side graded, so the performance is a little bit better for the UK market than advertised-ish, if that makes sense. Now internally is where the Freya completely shines. So as you saw back there when I did the hop, it is a rotary style hop unit with a 603 type bore brass barrel, which is really, really nice. This is better than things like Spetner Arms, who were using really lightweight, flimsy alley style barrels that you could physically crush in your hands. Though they are 603, brass is a heavier material which has less vibrations go through it, allowing for tighter groupings, if I'm correct on that. Though having a brass barrel does polish better than sort of anodised aluminum anyway. Going back into the gearbox is reinforced. It has inside it stainless steel cylinder head, air nozzle and spring guide. It has, and they're from a company called SHS, which are renownedly like the sort of the entry level of an upgrade part. Back when I first started many years ago, SHS was like the leading company. They were affordable, and a lot of people were using them. Not so much the case as other companies that come out in at the moment, things like Rocket and other companies, which are basically off-brands of SHS anyway. You get 16:1 ratio CNC cut gears, and say in the UK the springs have been changed by Patrol Base to be at the 300, or what I think it is 1 joule they're being pumped out at from the Patrol Base guys at the moment. So that's really, really good. Internally, that is what we would consider, or I would consider, an upgraded AEG anyway, out of the box. Now, it does come with a Eagle style MOSFET, which is really good. That's programmable for things like single lock. So if you're doing a DMR build on the 14-inch, you can lock it to single shot only. You can also put on a delayer on the trigger response. So if you're going to a field and DMRs need to be every 1 shot per second, you can do that on the delay switch. You can do single fire burst features from 3 round to I believe 9 round burst, binary, pre-cocking, active braking and bits and pieces like that. It also does have an AUG mode, so if you're on single shot, you pull the trigger, it'll fire once. If you hold the trigger down, it then switches itself to full auto, which is quite a cool feature. The trigger itself in the box does come with a small Allen key, and the trigger is adjustable for length of pull on the trigger, so if you want it to be even snappier, you can. And that's all of the gearbox settings. It is wired to a DINS or a T-plug, depending on what you call them. And it does come with a high torque motor. The high torque motor is strong enough to pull an M120 easily, as that's what the Slovakian market sort of uses anyway, at the 400 FPS market that they use, and you can get really good trigger response out of that. But take this information, guys, as a bit of a pinch of salt. As I said, I used to work for the company. I'm just trying to get across that I really, really like the products. Even though I'm not working for them anymore, I do fully recommend them. and hopefully we can get some other bits and pieces on the channel to review and go over. But thank you very much guys, and that's going to be my short overview of the Delta Armory Freya.